I hope you're wrong, Senator. Senator Blumenthal?
Mr. Chairman, I agree with everything that my partner in this effort has said, and I couldn't say it better, except that it will go nowhere.
Well, I hope you're right.
This bill is the result of literally years of work. Many of you, like Senator Lee, have cooperated and worked with us. I also want to thank the chairman for his enormously constructive work, and I strongly support the Stop CSAM Act. And your and Senator Graham's leadership has been instrumental in getting us this far, and in the past, passing this bill out of committee unanimously, and I hope it will be again. I also want to thank Senator Hawley for his work. We held a hearing not long ago on Section 230. I would agree with Senator Graham that Section 230 has outlived its usefulness, and this bill essentially provides a narrow, targeted carve-out from Section 230. It is a step. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And I hope it will break the barrier that we have begun doing against holding big tech accountable. The numbers that you've cited, Mr. Chairman, those 32 million reports from NCMEC are an increase from 29.3 million last year. The number of enticements online is up by 82%, according to NCMEC. And I just really want to thank the families that have come forward to Senator Blackburn and me and Senator Graham to tell their stories. And some of these young people have written to us themselves. 18-year-old Anastasia wrote to me about the trauma of her private images as a young teen being shared online. These are images, sexual, explicit images. As Senator Graham said, we wouldn't allow them to be shown in this room. And she wrote to me, quote, having my abuse forever immortalized on the internet is something I will never be able to escape. These images that teens may unwisely and imprudently share live forever. And we are allowing these teens to continue to be exploited, victims of sextortion, and other kinds of abuses. So this narrow carve-out to Section 230 essentially provides for a standard. We will shortly have a manager's amendment that will set a floor of recklessness. It protects the rights of big tech, but finally, it will give a right to be heard in court a day before a judge or a jury to those teens who want to stop this kind of exploitation. It will give them rights that they would enjoy right now under the Constitution, but for this immunity under Section 230, designed for a time when the internet companies were nascent, struggling, small enterprises. No longer. They should be held accountable. And I'll just finish on this note. There's no question, Senator Graham is right, that we are in for a fight. No one should underestimate the armies of lawyers and lobbyists that big tech will throw at us. No one should underestimate the myths and misconceptions that they will try to foist on the United States Congress. No one should underestimate the amounts of money they'll spend on campaign contributions. But we need to hold them accountable, and so long as they say, not our problem, we have immunity, we need to take action, and that's what we're doing with the Earn It Act. Thanks, Mr. Chairman.
Before I open the floor to any other comments, Senator Graham would like to make a motion.
Yes, we have a manager's amendment. I'd like to call up 0LL23438.
Questions on the adoption of the manager's amendment? All those in favor say aye. Opposed,
Aye.
no. Opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The manager's amendment's adopted. Does any other senator seek recognition? Senator Blackburn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have just a couple of things to say on this, and I do agree with Senator Blumenthal, and I do hope that Senator Graham is wrong in that this goes nowhere. The reason is this. We have heard from countless parents and teens who have shared their story, and the fact that these platforms hide behind Section 230 when they have CSAM and then send parents who are reporting to them bullying, sexually explicit material, things that are happening to their kids, and they send something back months later that says, this does not violate our community standards. This has got to stop. We have a mental health crisis with our teenagers in this country. Now, my End Child Exploitation Act is folded in to the Earn It Act. The reason this is important is because these platforms have been holding material for only 90 days. And law enforcement says we cannot keep up with the barrage of reports that we're getting about this online sexual exploitation of children. So this will require these platforms to keep this for a year so that the evidence is held and so that law enforcement has the time to investigate these crimes and carry out these prosecutions. So this is the time we need to move forward with this. We need to push this through not only the Senate, but get it to the president's desk, get it through the House, because parents are depending on us. You know, it's so interesting with the Kids Online Safety Act that Senator Blumenthal and I have reintroduced, and so many of you are there as co-sponsors. The parents had hoped that we would have that passed by the time kids got out for school this summer. And of course, we're not going to hit that deadline. And they know this is a heavy lift because they know how social media is fighting it. They hope that we will have it done by the time kids go back to school, because these kids are being literally cyberbullied to death. Think about that. They are being cyberbullied to death. They are being sexually extorted to the point of suicide. We have girls that are meeting drug dealers, sex traffickers online. And we have kids that are falling into severe depression. We would never in a million years allow children to be exposed in the physical world to what they are being exposed to online. And it is time that these social media platforms be held to account.
Thank you, Senator. Anyone else seek recognition? Senator Coons.